from Dr. Matsushima, and I've been knowing him for more than maybe 10 years, and off and off, on and off, I make him in Thailand, in Japan, and just chatting together and discussing a couple of things. But now I am here to present what CBD is and what we are doing. And CBD is a very problematic product, as you may know, that we have the legal issue and the medical issue both together. And some countries ban using it for medicine, or not only for the cosmetics or food product, but also medicine is banned. And some people are very open-minded and using it. Like even in the United States, New York is, I think, banned it. But California, I think it's okay. But Thailand, it's very open. Everybody using it, and that causes another problem too. But in Japan, it's very, very strict. So I will be presenting what CBD is and the problem of legal issue and the medical issue and what we are doing as a research institute. And we are actually working on the cancer project that we are producing iodine and the silver in order to treat cancers. Most of the kind of cancers, the stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreas, and so forth. But we are now focusing on the CBD today. So, could you? Right. This is a cavity control law that is established in 1948, which means that you were not even born that time. Of course, I was not either. It's such a long time ago, and they never changed the law up to now. And this is a very big issue in Japan that they may have to, or they want to change the law for the first time after 70 years or 4 years later. And this is a big issue right now in the Japanese diet. And the congressman and the bureaucrats, especially Minister of Health and Welfare, all these guys are talking about it for more than a year or two. And now they might submit that bill to pass this revised controlling law. And the idea is, this is the canopy. Okay, in Japan, you can't extract the CBD from the flower, right? And stem, it's okay. Root, no. Leaf, no. Seed, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't make any sense anyway. I mean, it's just one cannabis, but some parts are okay, some parts are not. And very, very strict. And chapter 1 says a general provision. Article 1, the term cannabis as used in this act shall mean cannabis grass and its product. However, the term shall not include the mature stems of cannabis, TBL and its product. The term cannabis as used in this act shall mean cannabis grass and the product thereof provided. However, that natural stem of cannabis grass and the product thereof shall be excluded. This is a very strict law, and we have been regulated so long time, and now they try to, little bit loosen the law, and it's gonna be maybe a good business opportunity for the cannabis producers and the pharmaceutical companies and so forth. So this is a very big issue now in Japan. Cannabis for CBD products that can be distributed in Japan. 1, the raw materials, oil powder, extracted from the marijuana must pass through quarantine as food and be approved for customs clearance by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, Narcotics Control Division. Second, the product must be free of heavy metals, pesticide, residues, residual solvents, and bacteria. And 3, tetrahydrocannabidiol, THC, must not be detected. This is a big issue. And 4, must be extracted from the mature stems or seed of the cannabis plant. This is the law that we have. And especially for the second one, you see, the product must be free of the heavy metals and pesticide residues. This is very serious because some cannabis are from, let's say, United States. The problem in the United States is that they allow THC up to 0.3%, so that whatever the CBD that they're making in the United States, we have to assume that they contain a certain amount of THC, and the people using in Japan, it will be a problem. And Thailand, also EU, 0.2% approved. And in Japan, completely no, which is kind of a little bit too much, but anyway, that's what the law says. So this is a problem. And also, let's say from India, for example, the India is, they produce, I think, the cannabis and the other, herbs and stuff. But the problem is that the ground, the soil is contaminated and the heavy metals observed, so that the stuff from like Nepal, from India can be very dangerous as well. So this is a very crucial issue, and the tetrahydrocannabinoid is the real drug that gives you the kind of high tension, that gives you high. That's the problem. The next one, please. And the problems in distribution of CBD products in Japan. Even if CBD products are legal in Europe and the United States, the condition of the THC content less than 0.3% and origin other than stem species are in conflict with Japanese law. This is the problem when trying to import products as they are, or when participants from the overseas brings them in an international event such as Olympics. They always have doping problems and the drug problems after using the CBD. Because why athletes use CBD? It kills pain, for example, pain relief, So people use it. Then when they certainly, examine the product and they find the THC and right? You go on. So that's where it happens. In this Olympic and Tokyo Olympic that we had before, CBD products brought in from overseas by the athlete were not subject to the crackdown due to the special measures. That's kind of an exception, but usually it's very risky to use that. Then we talked about the legal point of view that we have, and now from now on we talk about the more pharmacological and medical point of view that we are doing the clinical trial. We are producing cannabidiol oil and also skin cream, especially for atopic skin and acne. And about the 40 medical institutions are testing with our product, and we are getting a good result, so that we show you some case reports and medical discussions that we're gonna bring out later. Okay, let's start. Endocannabinoid system, what we call ECS. The ECS, endocannabinoid system, is a system for maintaining homeostasis in the body that is present in all vertebrates. That's what we found. Well, this is a very amazing discovery that without homeostasis, we don't live here. We can't survive. We have to have that homeostasis as a human being. And endocannabinoid system sustain that homeostasis, and it all exists all in the body and all in the vertebrates. That was an amazing discovery. And the second dot, its receptors CD1 and CD2 are G-protein coupled receptors and are present in almost all cells of the body. The ECS is a communication system that connects the brain to all organs. That's very interesting. The endocannabinoid system is like a bridge between the organ and the brain and connect together. So when you observe CBD into your body, it will affecting all the bodies like a multi-target, so that it's good for the brain disease and also stomach or liver disease and so forth. It's kind of multi-target, which is very, very unique compared to regular medicine, because medication is a very single target. When you have a liver problem, so you get diagnosed and you are prescribed only for that purpose. But CBD is very, very multi-target, so that, which is good, but on the other hand, medical issue is that it cannot be medicine because it's a single targeted. So medicine, it has to be single target, most of the case. It cannot be useful for everything. I mean, that's impossible. But CBD can be like that, you know. So, but that causes a medical issue as well. Then you see there are a lot of receptors in all the bodies. Most of them are concentrated in the brain, you know, cortex, right? And the brainstem. And the hippocampus, and so forth. And the thyroid, liver, renal, the kidney, ovary, uterus, testis, prostate, and the stomach, pancreas, and heart, even heart. So pretty much everywhere, including skin, but most of them are concentrated in the brain area. So we would say like 60% of the endocannabinoid system is concentrated in the brain area, so that CBD is very effective to cure brain disease or neurological disease, such as Parkinson's disease, Huntington's disease, schizophrenia, and even treating brain tumor. Yeah, you can look at the PubMed medical essays, and you can see a lot of essays about the treating schizophrenia, brain tumor, and so on. You see, so that CBD is very effective for the brain disease in generally speaking. This is too complicated, so let's skip this one. This is too technical, I think. Well, this gentleman is a very foremost important figure in the endocannabinoid system study. It has been proposed that migraine and fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, and depression represent clinical endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome. That means that all these problems are caused by the deficiency of the endocannabinoid system. So some people are not having enough amount of it. Then that causes migraine headache or some schizophrenia or anxiety or some neurological problems and the brain problems. So that you have to have that ECS in a proper way. Then ECS deficiency have been implicated in schizophrenia, multiple sclerosis, Huntington's disease, Parkinson's disease, anorexia, and the chronic motion sickness, etc. It's all related to some neuron problem, right? And the concept of endocannabinoid deficiency was proposed by Ethan Russell. He is the foremost important figure in this study. And ECS deficiency may be generated in the stress status and the generic polymorphisms. So stress is very important, not only for coping with cancer, but also all these neurotic problems. So that the CBD is calming down your anxiety by balancing out this endocannabinoid system. That's why CBD is very good for the neurological diseases. NIH, National Institute of Health, this is a very prestigious institution in the United States. NIH public access, you can access to that as it says public, and that's what it says. Enhancement of endocannabinoid signaling. Signaling and pharmacotherapy of depression. It's too, I mean, if you want this document, we can distribute it later on. So ask Dr. Matsushima or this gentleman. Okay, so we just read the headline like this. Please go ahead. Cannabidiol enhances anandamide signaling and alleviates psychotic symptoms of schizophrenia. So they, it cures schizophrenia also. And this is all Japanese and in English, so in both ways you can read, right? So cannabidiol induced apoptosis in the human leukemia cells, a novel role of cannabidiol in the regulation of P22 and the NOX4 expression. 日本語だと CBD は白血病細胞にアポトーシス、細胞子ですね、killing the cell を誘導することから白血病の治療に有効である可能性があるということをこの Molecular Pharmacology では書かれているわけです。Cannabidiol induces cell cycle arrest and cell apoptosis in the human gastric cancer and so on, so that it might be very effective for the stomach cancer as well by taking that CBD. And the other essays, cannabidiol promotes amyloid precursor protein ubiquitation and the reduction of the beta amyloid expression and so on. So this is for the prevention of the Alzheimer's disease. This is one of the big stem. And under the Trump administration in year of 2019, the CBD was approved as medicine in the United States, specializing especially for the neuro disease. And Epidiolex, this is the name of the medicine. This is the first CBD medicine in the world. And after that, all the world is chasing after the Epidiolex and trying to do the clinical trial in the different countries. Even in Japan, they are working on some clinical trial going on. And I don't know when it will be approved, but anyway, they are working on. But the first one was the Epidiolex. That's the name of the medicine. And it works very well, especially our neuro disease. Okay? And also, this is not only the neurology, but also cannabinoids inhibit human keratinocyte proliferation through a non-CB1, CB2 mechanism and have a potential therapeutic value in the treatment of psoriasis. Constant, it's like atopic skin. It's very serious, you know. But the cannabidiol will be easing the atopic skin and also psoriasis and so on. It's very good. Cannabidiol induces antioxidant pathway in the keratinocyte by targeting BACH1. CBD は皮膚核化細胞において抗酸化作用を誘導する。The antioxidant is a key for the anti-aging. Oxidation is opposite idea. So when you have oxidated, well, you don't want that, right? That's a problem of aging. So by taking CBD, it works anti-agent against oxidation so that it will keep you young, so you enjoy that, right? So, yeah, have a good hope, you know. And then the potential role of cannabinoid in the dermatology, again, see, dermatologists are very interested in using the skin cream and the cannabinoid for disease, especially atopic, and also allergy. Very effective. And clinical trial, the therapeutic effect of CBD enriched ointment in inflammatory skin disease and cutaneous scars. CBD は皮膚の水分保持量や弾力性を向上させ、炎症や傷跡の改善効果を有する。It cures injuries. When you use the skin cream for the injuries, scar, it will cover and the skin will be rejuvenated. And that's very interesting function as well, I think. Well, this is our clinical trial and the before and after, you can see. This boy, the before, this guy has a very heavy atopic skin, the back of knee. 3 weeks later, that's pretty getting better. And this lady, about the 3 weeks before and after. This is a very serious one for the leg. This is only 1 month, you know. So we've been collecting all this data by using the skin creams and yeah, pretty good. About 80% of people get, not really, of course, 100% cure because only takes 3 weeks or 1 month, but they're getting a very good result as you can see. For example, this is before, this after, then you can see that the skin color is a little bit lighter than before. So that I think CBD has a function of the whitening, that it makes your skin color lighter by using that. And also allergy and the atopic skin is a problem for the problem of the excessive reaction for the allergy, right? So that CBD is calming down the overreaction to the allergy. So that's the reason that this is very effective. Well, this is the evidence for our multi-target CBD function. Oh, it's all in Japanese, sorry about that. But for example, CBD has a red dot. This is a dot that shows that it works well positively. For example, pain release on the top, and killing the germs, and lowering the blood sugar, and also the heart disease, and controlling the metastasis, the cancers, one place to others, that moving one places to the other place, the cardiocoma, and also easing the anxiety, and also bone growth. I mean, there are a bunch of possible effects that CBD has. So in other words, that since it has that kind of potentiality and the possibility for curing different diseases, so it means that if we find out one way and the other way, and we can apply to the medicine in each field, you see, because one CBD for one single target. So EpiDRX is for the easing the anxiety. So, but if you find some evidence for Parkinson's disease, then maybe you can apply for the FDA and it can be approved, and it will be medicine, right? So it has such a potential to be a medication, and they are working for big pharmas, very spending so much money for making the CBD out for the medicine. Then, having said that, we have talked about the legal point and also medical point, and we are presenting some problems of legal issues and also medical issues concerning CBD. It's kind of a very sensitive product by nature. Then we give you some assignment. One, what kind of regulations and the system or medical system do you think is needed to properly grow cannabis and distribute CBD? Would you say the US or EU rules are fair or universal? Or should we keep, like in Japan, for example, should we keep the law as it is, or maybe adjust to, accepting the THC for 0.3% or more, or what kind of a regulation would be better for the healthy market, creating a good market? Because without healthy market, there's no healthy product, and it will give you the damages, right? So that the regulation is very basic for the medication, but we don't know what the best way to establish it. So that's one big question. And second, receiving pharmaceutical certification in Japan is considered as one of the most difficult in the world. Why do you think this is the reason for this? Some countries are very easy to pass the regulation, but some countries are very hard, especially in Japan. We call the drug lag, that US already passed as a medication, but we've been waiting for like 10, 20 years, and a lot of patients die out, right? Well, it's bad, but why Japan is so conservative about new drugs? That's another question, and what's good for it? I mean, there's no maybe proper, real true answer to it. That's why we are raising these questions. And I just hand it to Mr. Dr. Matsushima. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Professor. So this is CBD is sort of in line with such a weak signal because of that. So far, it's time to change to open with such a CBD market. Even in Japan, we are preparing for the new registration, the regulation that happened in the direct Japanese government also, right? So, do you have any questions?
Yes. Any questions?
It's okay.
I can't diagnose, but sure, go ahead.
What is the biggest barrier with why Japanese government, like medical rule-wise, are not allowing this?
CBD?
Yes.
Well, I think it's because of THC, and we have that previous cannabis law, which was passed almost 80 years ago. We kind of stick to it. So the very rigidification of the law system, and also THC is a very big problem.
If the handler is a medical company, is a pharmaceutical company,
Right. They can't even touch that.
Yeah.
Within the Japanese.
Right. So, relating to your questions, then I have to add some comments that most of the brain tumor treatment, as far as I read from their thesis papers, the CBD contains THC. Without THC, I don't think it will kill the cancer itself. Because THC has much stronger impact on the cancer cells. So that most of the essays I read, the CBD contains THC. So it means that in Japan, we cannot carry out that. It kind of limited.
You understand? Yes.
But CBD alone, you can sleep very well. At least insomnia, schizophrenia, yeah, it can heal out. Yeah. For cancer, it's a little bit different story. It's kind of tough.
Is it chemically difficult to separate them?
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Based on your statement before, that CBD is always contain THC, right?
THC? Right.
So based on your research, there is maybe minimum of THC that can be taken by the patient, so it can make the minimum problem that make it if it's so in higher standard. Is it possible that maybe it will be changed the mind of the government?
Yeah, of course. Of course. For example, maybe, presumably the CBD contains THC, all right? So maybe lower THC level, for example, 0.1 or so. This is maybe it's okay for the regular people, common people. But higher THC only restricted to the medical use, for example, under the regulation by the hospitals or clinics. That kind of segregation is possible, I think. Otherwise, it's very dangerous. The kind of regulation maybe you can think of. But we don't know how much is a very dangerous or not yet. We haven't doing that enough clinical trial. I know that THC is attaching the receptors and it doesn't detach. That's why it gives you addiction.
So it's
CBD attaches receptors, but it doesn't completely attach to it. It can be detached and attached, and it's kind of on and off. That's a reason that it doesn't give you any addiction. That means that it's very safe to take in. But THC is a very, it attached and it never detached. That's a dangerous thing. So that we don't know the real good dose or good amount, proper amount. You see, we don't know yet.
Thank you.
Especially the Japan side, there's not much such a clinical trial.
Well, I think 2 or 3 companies are doing it, and they apply for their Ministry of Health. but still ongoing.
I see.
Well, I don't know, who knows, I mean, when it takes, you know.
Okay.
Even like a COVID-19 vaccination, it just came out, right? After this turmoil, so in Japan, you know. So for the CBD, and who knows? That's very interesting.
Yeah.
From country to country, because like financial law, it's kind of universal, you know. Finance is more to see as a universal, but medical law and the tax law is very different from country to country. Because I think government has responsibility to protect its own people from their point of view, so which is very different. Some countries more traditional oriented, some countries are more aggressive or maybe open. So, you know, medical law and the tax law is very different from country to country compared to financial law. Yeah.
Some companies are trying to synthesize or develop a new derivatives of GC or CBD, new drugs.
Yeah, I think so. And you see, the problem of CBD is that, of course, to be a medicine, that's very long way to go. But even like a food addict, you see, even food addict, the Ministry of Health didn't permit yet. So that is still hard. And even like the skin cream we produced last year is categorized as cosmetics, and this is the first CBD cosmetic in Japan to be approved by Tokyo, metropolitan government. So most of the guys are importing from US or other countries to the Japan and selling on the Amazon and Rakuten, the website. But,
E-commerce.
Right, exactly, e-commerce. But they're just imported from the other countries and then they sell it, right? So it's not really produced in Japan. So it's very hard to do, I think.
Okay.
And Amazon is very strict, extremely strict. Because Amazon in the United States is not allowed to sell cannabis. Japan is the only place that they can buy. So they're very nervous about their, the bad product.
Nice.
Any questions or comments or?
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Once again, Professor Hannah. Thank you so much.